Hello everyone and welcome to round one of the Legacy Daily event. I have adjusted the size of the recording screen so you don't have to see all the chat. If you guys want to see it, let me know. Alright, what do we got for an opening hand? That's not bad. We are going to keep this. I mean, we don't really have any play outside of fetch for Goyf, really, on turn two, but that's fine. We have removal, we have ways to interact, we can fight off pretty much anything he does, so. No, we're not going to mulligan. Their opponent is here. There are a ton of people in this daily event, as you can see there. Some of them names, some of them not names. So hopefully we will get a chance to play against a lot of different people and not a lot of the same thing that we've been playing against. Oh. Alright, there we go. So, first turn birds, and then we're off. And we have nothing to do on his turn, so in the interest of saving time, I just F6'd. I know everybody says F4, but I mean, if you've got nothing, then you've got nothing. Alright, so that's going to take away the green Sun Zenith. This look red-black playing a Thoughtseize leaves me two different deck options that I can think of offhand. The first one being the Sand Black zombie deck, the Walking Dead or Dead Rising, whatever you really feel like calling it, since apparently names don't count for much anymore. The things that make me cry at night. The second option is Agrolome. So, that being said, Agrolome isn't going to worry too much about the pulses. They're going to be trying to get rid of my way to deal with Graveyard. It's the same as the zombie deck. If he is taking a print screen of my hand, he's doing it the long way. The easy way is to just have MS Paint open. And literally, if you hit start run and type in MS Paint, you can open up Paint that way. Verdant Catacombs. Not exactly what I was looking at. Let's be a little insulting. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to attack with Bird, although it would be funny. I'm just going to go ahead and F6. This one I will crack at the end of his turn, though. Oh, what we have right now is we have 2 white open. It doesn't do much. It lets him know my entire hand, so maybe that's a little bit, but I'd rather thin my deck a little bit and go get a basic forest than actually have to deal with it. Well, yeah, I think we're still going to get basic forest. So, yeah. So I don't mind him knowing my hand. If he is aggro loam, any mocks that he plays, I'm definitely going to blow up. We have answers to Bob. We have answers to any creature. He's a zombie deck, though. So we can kill his stuff repeatedly. In this deck, people don't realize Carrion Feeder is the main creature problem, and Goblin Bombardment is the main other threat. If you can, this deck, Wet Lake Waste this deck on turn 1, it's usually a pretty good idea. I haven't exactly paid too much attention to the land counts, but I know that they're not the greatest. So, oh, there, look, there goes my swords. If I remember correctly, this deck does have Cabal Therapy. If it doesn't, it really needs to. Now let's go get the basic. This time, I'm not going to let him know, and I am going to attack him. Cards that you really want in this matchup. You want your swords because they'll just... I guess we're wasting a pulse. You want your swords because they'll take out any of his recursion. You want library on top because there is something good that comes of... what is the word? And it's not bird. Change of plan. I was going to pulse that, but I'm just going to go ahead and get Jit. And I am going to play Jit. He has to kill this, otherwise next turn I can pulse and equip, which means that he can't hide behind anything really. And once that's there, we don't have to worry about too much. Like, counters on Jit is pretty much death for this deck. This is as good as having a swords. I wish that this had been a green fetch land, that way I could have grabbed Dryad Arbor, so I didn't have just one creature, but once there's a counter on this, the birds can start swinging, as long as I remember. Oh, yay. So, we're still in good position. We still just hook up equip. We can knock one off and get the pulse back. So. That is Carolyn right next to me, laying on her phone. Alright. So, there's this back. We're actually going to drop the knight down. He's probably looking at it as, oh, well, now he's just got a birds and he can deal with that. And having drawn the knight, like, oh, I should probably let that finish resolving. What about the plains? Knight gives us an option into other things. Now that I'm looking at it, the second swamp wouldn't have been a bad idea. I mean, if he kills the bird and we're stuck with a lily on it, it's kind of awkward. He may have a swords. I guess not. Bolt won't cut it. Tragic Slip does. That's fair. Still need another form of removal for this. That I'm pulsing. I'm pulsing that now. I don't need that being a problem. So, I'm going to go ahead and try and equip to the bird. And we're going to use both white sources. Alright. Guess who forgot to pump his bird? Yeah, have it. Do that every now and then. We just don't need that there. Pump, bird, pump, bird. So he should be at 11. We've already missed 2 damage. At least he can't Tragic Slip the bird right now. Carrion Feeder. Alright. So the plan is still the same. We need him to waste creatures. This wouldn't have been a threat if I had done this correctly. Yep. Alright. So we need him to not have a creature. Not a creature, but a God, my words are failing me. We need him to not have, yeah, a creature. There we go. That way he can't shoot Bob. Otherwise, we can get counters on Bob. We can load up get the pulse back, and shoot him. Looks like he did not get a creature. I'm willing to make this trade. He can't cast Lingering Souls unless it's in his graveyard, which I don't believe it is. He can't Faithless Looting unless he drew a land. And I get that back. Thank you. My God. All of this from forgetting about a bird. We're going to take care of the problem. My Jit can overrun his guys. I just need a body. Any body. There are no more 0 powers in the deck. And he has a second one of those. So far we've done this entirely to ourselves. We're in a position that where we are not exactly caught up, but we're not exactly behind. And it's not exactly pretty. Um, all that being said, he's still short on mana. Probably not anymore. There's a Bloodghast now, so he can shoot the Stoneforge twice, still attacking for one. We need another land. Any draw is active. I mean, any draw. Goodbye, Batterskull. Any draw is not active anymore. At least he's out of cards in hand. Oh, baby. Let's just grab that now. Alright, so that's a good one. The unfortunate thing is that he still gets to shoot us for one a turn, multiples if he gets more creatures. The good thing is that we at least can start stealing back stuff. If he gets a Tragic Slip, that's problematic. Liliana would be problematic. Okay, he's flashing back Faithless Looting. That I can deal with. Like he's got to throw this in the way. If we draw removal, we can get rid of either the Bitter Blossom, which is a string of bodies, or his blockable creatures. And by blockable creatures, I mean creatures I can block. He's not going to go after this. The one piece of removal where we can't. Alright, so we keep him controlled. That'll get shot at us, so there'll be no Jit counters. My god, this game will be over had I remembered to pump the bird. I'm going to beat myself up about that. If he plays a zombie, I will eat the Gravecrawler. Shouldn't have too much to fear from him. I guess I could have eaten the Faithless Looting, but oh, forgot. Oh crap. Yeah, I'm doing this to myself. I think I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's just start going after other creatures. Alright. That's kind of nifty. So let's see here. We block, he dumps that. Well, this can't block, so he'll probably dump this into it, eat it to the feet to that one. Yeah. That'll work for me. Yep. Fairy Rogue shoots at me. I don't know, I guess the Bitter Blossom would have also been the better choice. He decided to do it that way. That's fine. Let's go ahead and fetch. Not necessarily a fan of using all of my black sources this way, but let's free up as much as we can. And by black I meant green. Alright, so he did that. We need to do this now. He did not have a Tragic Slip, which is that won't matter either way. Like if he's got one, he's got one. He has to swing at Liliana, or else in 2 turns I get to eat his creatures and move on from there. He still doesn't have white for Lingering Souls, so he does have one Faithless Looting, which is not something I'm thrilled about, but I mean, I'll take what I got. It's probably keeping a land in hand for a Bloodghast or something like that. The good news is that Ooze at least is gaining life back. I would have liked to have been able to fetch out the, there's an Ooze. Alright, so let's see. He can do 4, 5 damage. You can either pump it into there, which is the smarter play. I mean, in reality, he still can't attack. If I draw any removal, I still just get through. So, that'll kill Liliana. Yeah, and he needs me not to get through. There's the white for the Lingering Souls. Risky attack. So we have the same play as last turn. He'll be able to Lingering Souls next turn. If he has another land, he'll be able to drop 4 guys into play. That's problematic, and we will probably lose the game after that, but we will try not to. I could just force him to discard a card, but I don't think that that does very much. I don't know, at the time, what, there was 1 bombardment in the yard already? No, there was no bombardment, but there was a Bitter Blossom. The first pulse was used on Bitter Blossom. You must not have Lingering Souls? Be pretty weird. Didn't have a Lingering Souls. Well, we're gonna go this route then. Alright. So we want, yeah, any removal. Basically, we force him to discard cards and we just kind of keep up. That was terribly played, but so be it. Um, this is how easily one mistake can come back to get you. So, and that was just one big mistake. Graveyard base deck. Thalia pretty good against him. I mean, the spells that he wants to play or he doesn't want to have to deal with. So, Zealous Persecution against a deck of X1s. That's 8 cards. Yeah. Thoughtseizes and Liliana is not so good against him. So that's already 6. As you can see, it just kind of, you get there with how many cards you need. Jit's very good against him. Batterskull's very good against him. Scavenge Ooze, Goyf, Pride Mage, all pretty good against him. Where are we going? We need 2 cards. I actually think I don't want to sink the mana in, and I'm willing to just draw off the top. So that's what we're going in against. If we can get him fighting off Batterskulls, then we're gaining way more life than he really wants to have to deal with. Yeah, I'm willing to keep this. I have a swords for his first turn play, or birds, depending on what happens. That'll get a swords. Green Sun Zenith for ooze. We can play Thalia. If he doesn't have a land, he's got to take Thalia. Otherwise, I'm going to drop her next turn. If he does have a land, he'll take one of these two. The reason he'll take these two over Thalia is because he's got the land. Most of his deck costs one or two, so getting a third land isn't the worst at that point. Like, you drop a Faithless Looting and you should hit a land. You should be able to hit something. So he's got a land. Okay. And a Cabal Therapy. That'll probably hit Green Sun Zenith. I doubt it'll go after Thalia right now. She's a lot weaker than the Green Sun Zenith. Oh, he went after that one. Okay. He must have something for next turn. Well, we'll keep him guessing at what we got. I'm willing to take a point of damage. Next turn we can Green Sun Zenith for ooze and build it up. Hopefully. Or eat his Lingering Souls, which he'll probably flash back the Cabal Therapy. Yep. So we're pretty far down at this point. The good thing is he's only got 2 cards in hand. The bad thing is he's got 2 cards in hand. Yep. We have a Bob though, so I'm going to play Arbor so we can get the mana there, and we'll start this process. What we're counting on here is Bob's card advantage, kind of drowning him out. Like, I have Pulse. If he doesn't have something, a way to sacrifice, then that's screwed over. I have Zealous Persecution, which means, and I can actually play it, that he will take more pain from that. So there are 5 cards that would deal with this situation as it stands right now. Swords, not one of them that I'm really interested in. I am willing to sack this to draw a card, though. That's a really good card to draw. He's probably got Perish on his side, so this will definitely bait it out if he does. And if he doesn't, I can start wastelanding him. First thing to go will be probably this one. I don't want to lose a creature and a land if he perishes. Like right now, I'd be okay with it just because I'd get my lands. You want to hold those, unless you have more. Bob's being a really good guy right now. I'm going to go ahead and should probably play a land. Oh, I did already. It was the land. Bleh. So at this point, I'm going to keep Knight back. Like, I have the lands in order to do this. So that's one important thing I can start wastelanding him off of. Well, he's conceding. His comment is that he got lands and Thoughtseize. So there we go. Overall, again, this matchup, you don't want to fall behind. Like that first game could have gone either way. I could have just missed on removal and he would have had it, or I could have just completely blanked on a lot of different things. The deck is really strong against the zombie deck. Just because you fight in all areas, you can fight his hand. It's not worth it. As you see, he's got 3 cards up there, and according to what he says, they're just lands and the Thoughtseize. Let's see. Couldn't say what next turn would have happened. I was planning on fetching with Knight, so, but in theory, that's what we'd have gotten, which is amazing. Like, we could have hard cast the Batterskull next turn if I didn't activate Knight, and then we can hook it up to Bob, which makes Bob pretty much unkillable outside. Excuse me, outside of Tragic Slip out of the deck. But yeah, that's where it sits, and we are now 1-0. And see you guys for the next round.